Good day, everybody. I am at home. I'm busy preparing to go into the office. I would just like to once again thank you all for purchasing a copy of the book. We have been giving away, we have been upgrading guys who bought the Blueprint edition to Master edition. I'm looking at selected guys. So every week I'll be selecting one person every week that will bump up to the Master Edition. And what I'm also going to do is we're working on a new product, another 3 month, another one of our 90-day classes. Sorry, this is unscripted. I always try to keep things as real as possible. And what I want to do with our YouTube channel, I want to give you guys one small lesson every day. What I find that many mechanics have become mechanics because they did not want to work with computers. But today, unfortunately, vehicles have become computers. Even if you look at entry-level vehicles, well, what we used to consider an entry-level vehicle like a Corolla Cross, Corolla Crosses are fitted with some advanced features. We have hybrid crosses, we have crosses with lane change assist. Okay, please excuse all my dogs. Okay, let me go on today's lesson. As we said, all vehicles contain computers that manage certain functions. But what is a computer? So today I'm going to keep it simple. We are going to look at what can we start off with. Let's start off with two roles that computers can have. So if we look at over here, this is my laptop, and a lot of the development of our courseware gets done through this little machine here. Now, if we look at this laptop here, it has a keyboard. So that is an input device. We have a mouse pad, and that will also be an input device. If we look at the screen is an output device, but it is also an input and an output device. Now, whenever we do lessons like this, I like to give you a comparison or a vehicle equivalent. So in a vehicle, let's take an engine control unit for example. In an engine control unit, we have various inputs and outputs. One of the inputs would be a temperature sensor. And an input output could be an air mass meter or an airflow meter, because they can accept input and they can also do something. Some of them can open up a throttle, so that would make it an input and an output device, same like my laptop's screen. And when I turn on this laptop, this will be a lesson for another day. Okay, we can use that as number 2. So number 2, something important about a computer: when you turn on a computer, the BIOS or the basic input output system would first start up the computer, and thereafter it will look for where the operating system resides, and in this case this computer has got Windows 10 or 11 as the OS. And behind me over here we have a Linux machine, and this machine here is a computer, looks like a computer, but it is also a server. There are hardware servers that are specifically built to act as servers. What is a server? A server serves a function. It's the same like a waiter. A waiter has a role in a restaurant. In this computer or this server's case, this server here is serving a test application which I am developing for some of our students who've reached a bit of a higher level. Let me just get into it here. So over here we have this application that will assist one of our students who owns a busy workshop. This will assist him in booking in vehicles and also it will lighten the load of his reception. So what this server is doing now is it's serving a test version of the application of the agent that we have built for his workshop. So even though it looks like a desktop computer, but it is also a server. So servers can be computers and computers can also be servers. So takeaway from this is that computers can have various roles. And also to look at the operating systems. If you look at that computer there, that computer has got an operating system called Ubuntu. It is a Linux-based operating system, and we use that for a lot of development work. I try not to thumbsuck things. Whatever I try to do for you is based on experience, and whatever products I design for you, I look at how that product has made our lives better in our shop and how I can use that to make your life better. And that's it. We're not here to make a quick buck. Some of these products, like that book has taken a lot of my time to develop. And I had to look at a lot of different approaches to find some balance in the book. But it will definitely make a difference to any workshop who has not started off with coding. I'm going to try to give you guys a lesson every day and post it on our channel. Something small that you can look. If you take a lot of small items and you add it up at the end of the year, you'll be surprised by the amount of knowledge that you would have gained. So for today's takeaway, something I would want you to look at is input and output. What I want you to do is, what I want our students to do is not just to learn how to code keys. Coding keys is easy. What we want to do is we want you to understand how computers work. Because once you understand how computers work, it allows you to troubleshoot a lot faster. For example, if you look at this input and output, I'll give you an example. Yesterday, a mechanic walked into our workshop. A vehicle was brought to him. It was taken to one of these local coding guys. And the coding guy's first course of action was to decode or IMO off his ECU. Decoded the ECU, got the car started. Now it's an Audi. They're sitting with a problem whereby the windows are not operating. He's unable to get the windows to open and close, and he tells the owner of the vehicle, well, that there is a different problem. That is something he needs to take the vehicle to somebody who does central locking. Okay? The client doesn't understand what is happening. The client takes the vehicle, goes to mechanic B. Mechanic B suggests he change all the switches. So they changed all the window switches. They changed the harness. They ended up putting manual switches for indicators, wipers, all the windows, and eventually the client got tired and he approached us, but unfortunately our services are quite expensive. And for me to take on a vehicle like that is going to be very costly. We had to turn the vehicle away. But at the end of the day, the mechanic did not understand input and output. Without authorization, if you had a look at when this computer was locked, I was unable to I could use the buttons on the keyboard, but I could not access any other functions on that computer. And the same thing with that vehicle there, because the cluster did not authenticate the key, the BCM would not allow any other functions to work. So input and output. Something is not working on the output side, it could either be bad input or that something to do with the recipe or the instructions does not allow it to provide output. That's all for today. Thank you guys.